other than the mood of the bhakta's heart in love for Bhagavan. Therefore, Shankara understands, Shuka understands, but Vyasa may or may not understand. Did you want to add to that?
It was just when you were saying how Krishna took shelter of Srimati Radhika. I wanted you to tell how Srila Govinda Maharaj said he was meditating on the Gauranga.
Can you tell it?
Once when Srila Govinda Maharaj was giving a lecture, he was speaking about the glories
Loud.
of... Huh?
Loud.
When he was speaking about the glories of Mahaprabhu, he was saying, or the glories of Srimati Radhika, he was saying that Krishna was so overwhelmed, he was so bewildered, and such a greed entered his heart that he wanted so desperately to understand what is it that she is tasting. He said, so Krishna himself sat down and began to meditate on her. He said, as he was meditating, it was like a huge pot of milk, and it was condensing and condensing like burfi. And he said, when anyone makes burfi, you know when it comes like to the bottom, it starts making a sound. Thup, 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 thup. It becomes very thick and starts to splash. Thup, thup, thup. He said, so as this mood was in Krishna's heart, and that mood was condensing, thup, 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 the Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. He said, sitting there, meditating on Gaurangi, he became Gauranga. And he came here as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to understand what it is like to love himself.
Thank you. Did you hear that back there? You missed something good. You'll have to hear it again if you didn't hear it. Okay. So Srila Gurudev is telling, if one is not accustomed to hearing Bhagwatam, he can remember something about it. If he cannot even do that, he can give his approval. Oh, to hear Bhagwatam is very good. He acknowledges that. Even by doing this, a strong impression is made, which acts as sukriti, a spiritual merit that leads to bhakti. It has therefore been said in Srimad Bhagwatam, 12th canto, 13th chapter, 18th verse, Srimad Bhagwatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam Yasmin Paramahamsyamekam Amalam Jnanam Param Giyate Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam Vaishkanyama Vishkritam Tajtrin Vansupatan Vicharan Paro Bhaktya Vimuchyanara. Translation. Srimad Bhagwatam is the spotless Puranam. Again it is said spotless. When it says Ammalam and referring to Srimad Bhagwatam, it means that other scriptures may have some mal. They might have some apparent defect. But Srimad Bhagwatam is always said to be Amala Puranam, Amala Praman. Here it says Amala Puranam. Completely pure, through and through. There is nothing that we should discard from Srimad Bhagwatam. Yet Vaishnavanam Priyam. It is most dear to the Vaishnavas because it describes the pure and supreme knowledge of the Paramahamsas. This Bhagavatam reveals the means for becoming free from all material work, together with the process of transcendental knowledge, renunciation, and devotion. Anyone who seriously tries to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, who properly hears and chants it with devotion, becomes completely liberated. Here in this one it says, in this translation, together with the processes of transcendental knowledge, renunciation, and devotion. In Srimad Bhagavatam there is a verse, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayatya Shivairagyam Jnanam Chayadabhaitukam. Through the process of cultivating transcendental knowledge and through the process of Bhakti Yoga, two things should happen. One, transcendental knowledge should manifest in the heart. Jnanam Chayad Ahoitukam, transcendental knowledge of our relationship with Bhagavan, and transcendental knowledge of Bhagavan and who I am, and everything to do with Bhagavan. And the natural result of that would be Vairagyam, Janayadasya Vairagyam, which means complete detachment from this material world. So this verse is almost re-paraphrasing that, because it says that they will become completely liberated and become free from all material work. So this means detachment from the material world is coming. Our Srila Gurudev, he spoke on this verse quite frequently, and he would say that if you are not developing, even if you feel that you're developing bhakti, but detachment is not coming, you should know that something is wrong with your practice. If increasing of attachment to material things is manifesting in your heart, that means there's something wrong with your practice. He would say some loophole. There's some hole in your practice where the increase of material desires is coming, the increase of material attachment is coming. If after practicing bhakti for so many lifetimes, or so many years even in this lifetime, we don't notice that our material desires, our anarthas, are weakening, that means there's something wrong with our practice. And if we don't practice properly, then it can be considered a waste of time. If we remain in the same platform, the same level for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, then there's some defect in our practice. And so our acharyas, they would always warn us not to waste our time and not to waste their time. We should find those defects, we should find those holes. What is it in my practice that is lacking, that is making it so that I am still attached to this material world? Why is my thirst for this material world growing more and more instead of decreasing? Then I should find out what that is. And generally, if one is sincere, they will go to their Gurudev. Oh, Gurudev, this is the condition of my heart. Gurudev said we should not try to hide what is in our heart from Guru. He already knows everything. Shastra says that Guru, real Guru, Sri Guru, is Trikaladya. He knows past, present, and future. He can read 10,000 lifetimes in the past and 10,000 lifetimes into the future. He knows what's going on because he's directly connected with Bhagavan. He knows everything. Still, he said we should not try to hide from Guru. For our benefit, it is good that we reveal our heart openly, kind of like confession. That Gurudev, this is my anartha. I have this problem and this difficulty here. Not problems about, oh, please help me with my material things, but this, I feel, is holding me back in bhakti. Please help me. And then Guru will give the recommended process, the way to gradually stitch up or block those holes which are making all of the nectar flow out of the pot that we are carrying. So Srila Gurudev said, if anyone hears the Bhagwatam with Shraddha from superiors who are explaining its deep meanings, who are very elevated in bhakti, and who have surrendered themselves to Srimad Bhagwatam, then the words of Bhagwatam, which are Krishna himself, will enter his heart and be realized. This is the process of hearing. The process of hearing means to hear it from those who are very deep-hearted, who have firm faith, who are themselves surrendered to Srimad Bhagwatam. They are surrendered to Krishna. If we hear from them with Shraddha, from those persons who are superior to us, then we will be hearing properly. Then Srila Gurudev quotes the verse in Srimad Bhagwatam, Vikritikam Prajaguruviryam Chamishram Shradhanvito Nishriyat Katavanyedya Bhaktim Param Bhagavatim Pratilapjakama Hridrogam Ashvabhinot Chirena Dhira. That's in Srimad Bhagwatam, 10th canto, 33rd chapter, verse 39. He says, Bhagwatam says, a sober person who with full faith continuously hears or describes Bhagavan Shri Krishna's transcendental Rasa Leela with the damsels of Braj will first attain pure devotional service for the lotus feet of Bhagavan. Thereafter, he will quickly conquer his senses and become forever free from the disease of the heart, worldly lust. Did you notice something interesting in that translation? First, they will attain pure devotional service for the lotus feet of Bhagavan. Thereafter, they will quickly conquer their senses and become forever free from lust. Very interesting. Yes?
So then why do we start with Bhacho Vegam and not Rasalila?
What makes you think Bhacho Vegam is not Rasalila?
Oh, come on. I mean, if that's the qualification to remove lust, and it's saying you hear that from the proper person, why is it that we take these steps starting with controlling of all of these urges if automatically that can remove it?
The word here is shraddhanvita. So first, what is required is shraddha, deep faith and deep regard. There's something that's required on our part as well. That there's the qualification of the speaker. His heart must be completely free from any anartha, any material inebriety, and he must be